Steelers Nation, we have some hot news that could change the course of the team. One of the standout players on defense may be leaving, and the reason for this will be the talk of the town. In addition, an unexpected turn of events could lead the Steelers to make a surprising decision about a player that many had already written off. What's going on behind the scenes in Pittsburgh? You can't miss any of these moves, so leave a like and let's watch the video. The Pittsburgh Steelers have some big decisions to make in free agency, and one of them revolves around veteran cornerback Dante Jackson. Jackson landed in Pittsburgh as part of the trade that sent wide receiver Dante Jackson to the Carolina Panthers, with the Steelers also picking up a draft pick that turned into Logan Lee. Jackson started the season strong, racking up 5 interceptions through the first 3 quarters of the year, but like the rest of the Steelers defense, he faded a bit down the stretch. Still, he played a key role in a defense that was a force for much of the season. His first taste of playoff football came in Pittsburgh's wild-card loss to the Ravens, though it wasn't the kind of postseason debut he'd hoped for. Now the question is, what's he worth? According to SpotRack, Jackson could command around $12 million per year in free agency. That's a big jump from the 1-year $6 million deal he played on this past season, which included a $475 million signing bonus. Jackson's talent isn't in question. His ability to stay glued to receivers has been a strength throughout his career. But now that at 29, heading into his 8th NFL season, there's always the question of how much longer he can maintain his peak level of play. Can he take another step forward, or is he at the point where his best days are behind him? The Steelers have around $43 million in cap space, but with serious offensive needs to address, they have to be strategic about their spending. If they can find a solid corner at a lower price, someone like DJ Reed or Byron Murphy, they might decide to move on from Jackson rather than pay top dollar. It's a tricky decision, but with free agency looming, Pittsburgh will have to make the call soon. So what do you guys think? Is it worth opening your wallet, or is it time to move on? Let us know in the comments. But hold on tight, because the next news is even more surprising and could completely change the Steelers' offensive plans. The Pittsburgh Steelers are heading into the 2025 offseason with plenty of questions on offense. And while most of the attention is on the quarterback and wide receiver situations, the running back position is also in flux. Jaylen Warren, a restricted free agent, is expected to stick around, but the future of Naji Harris is far less certain. After declining his 5th-year option, which would have paid him around $6.7 million in 2025, the Steelers seemed ready to move on. But now, not so fast. Recent reports suggest that Harris returning to Pittsburgh is more likely than many assumed. According to Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the Steelers might be open to bringing him back on a 2- or 3-year deal, with an annual salary in the $7 to $10 million range. That's a bit more than what the 5th-year option would have cost, but it gives the team flexibility while securing a workhorse back they know and trust. The big question isn't about Harris's durability. He's proven he can handle a heavy workload, but rather if Pittsburgh can finally put together an offensive line that helps him reach his full potential. Despite back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, he hasn't quite lived up to first-round expectations. But some of that blame falls on a unit that hasn't exactly paved the way for dominance. Dulac also pointed out that Harris could sign a new deal before free agency officially kicks off on March 12th. Why? Because the running back market might not be very friendly this offseason. With a deep draft class full of talented RBs, teams could opt for younger, cheaper options instead of handing out big contracts to veterans. If Harris and his camp want stability, re-signing in Pittsburgh, potentially at a slight discount, might be their best move. For the Steelers, continuity on offense is a must. Since Ben Roethlisberger retired, the unit has been a revolving door of coordinators, quarterbacks, and schemes. Locking in Harris for a few more years could provide some much-needed stability, especially as the team figures out its long-term QB situation. If Pittsburgh can get the deal done at a reasonable price, it might be a win for both sides. So, Steelers fans, are you on board with bringing Naji back? Or is it time to move on? If the Steelers do make this move, it could be a smart move or a big mistake. The team needs to make the right decisions to avoid compromising its future, and it looks like the fans will be divided. Now we just have to wait for the next episodes. And to not miss any updates from our team, subscribe to the channel.